Sup folders. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about Moon Knight. As of recording this, right now, it is the day before Moon Knight comes out. It is, March 29th. It's been a busy week, okay? That's not me making excuses. I asked someone to prom and she said yes. Alright, fold and relax, dude. The videos are still gonna come out. Don't worry about it. Sorry about that April Fool's video. I know I probably got some of you, hopefully. Probably not a lot because a lot of people expect those type of video. I just thought it was kind of funny. So I folded and did it. And at that time, I wasn't in the best mood. I don't know why. There was no particular reason, actually, which was funny. I just wasn't in a great mood. I don't know. Weird week. Boring. Not great. School sucked. But, you know, other than that, everything else in my life is going pretty folding great, to be honest. Anyways, let's get back to Moon Knight. I'm going to be talking about my thoughts, why I think this show will be folding absolutely fantastic, and just, like, a little, like, breakdown of some of the content they already showed, and then I'm gonna fold and flash forward time, and we're gonna be to where the show episode 1 already came out, and we're gonna be talking about that. And yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoy this video. If you do enjoy, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Alright, there was a little bit of change of plans, so basically I'm gonna be covering my thoughts before episode 1, before I watched it. I watched it at this point, but after that I'm gonna be talking about my thoughts on episode 1 and my thoughts on episode 2. It's basically the whole video. I don't talk about any of the trailers or anything else. There was a lot of trailers, a lot of stuff they released, and I didn't like have a lot of time to get it before I watched episode 1, so I just left it. And you guys probably seen the trailers, and you know, the first episode's confusing enough anyways because I've seen it, and it's yeah, something else. I bet you'll fold and like it, so go watch it and then come back here and you guys can check out my thoughts after I watch episode 1 and 2, and maybe you guys want to fold and hear me ramble about it. I don't know. You should definitely listen to the guy over there, I believe. He said some like smart stuff of like to like and subscribe, I believe. Yeah, I'd like go down there. There's like a bell too. I'd ring that, to be fair. Like, I think that would be like in your like a benefit, like, because like if you like hear like, I don't know if you heard that. I don't know if the mic picked it up. There was a beep, and I think it was my lightsaber. Ignore that. If you want to fold and hear me ramble, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. And I already said that, but I just said it again. But here are my thoughts. Other way. Here are my thoughts. The reason why I think Moon Knight is going to be absolutely fantastic, Oscar Isaac, folding great actor. I think he's going to do a fantastic job of this multiple personality disorder. I'm also really happy that they're doing something like that. I think that's folding really interesting. I think the fact Steven is just this like little goofy like British guy, it's like, what is this? And that's what it's going to open with. And I feel like it's going to be a little weird in the beginning, but that's the intent. So I'm really excited to see that. But then it like switch themes really quick to something dark, something supernatural. I think that's a folding fantastic idea. I heard that the voice was a choice by Oscar Isaac to do it, and you can tell he loves it. In the first time he watched the trailer with Arthur. Wait, no, Arthur. Sorry, I was using his character's name. Ethan Hawke. The first time he watched it with him, he did as Steven did his little British voice.
Between my waking life.
My waking life. Please, sir, can I have some more?
He did the British voice, and he's like making fun of it because it's so goofy, and he knows that, and it's awesome. I don't know. I think that's gonna be fantastic to watch. He's gonna be in utter fear, and the way it like phases him in and out of reality, or not even reality, his personalities is weird to watch. Like, I think that's gonna be the coolest thing of the show. The transformations from him to Moon Knight to Mark and also Steven. I think that's fantastic, and I'm so excited for the show. It's also going to be one of Marvel's like first like mature, I don't know how like mature we're going to get in the show, but I'm excited to see what we're going to do, and I hope, and I'm 100% sure that they're going to introduce way more mature content in the MCU, and I'm excited to see that. Probably Multiverse Madness first, and then probably Deadpool 3, so I'm excited to see that. My final theory of how this is going to start, I think it starts off with Steven. Mark was the one who got possessed by Khonshu, and he was out on an adventure with Layla, and they were going to do something in Egypt, and he stole an artifact, and that artifact was possessed by the spirit of Khonshu. If you don't know who Khonshu is, he is the moon deity the moon god or whatever of Egypt mythology, and he's the moon god. I don't know how else to folding explain it. We see him in the trailer, and he looks folding scary as fold. Tuxedo, Mr. Knight looks dapper, looks just like amazing. I think he's really gonna be folding cool. Just the transformation to that from the weird, like, I don't know if it's gonna go directly from Steven to Mr. Knight at any point. I hope it does, because we get this goofy folder and then we just get all folding, suited up in a tuxedo. But yeah, his powers also look fantastic. The way he transforms into his suit and the mummified thing, and the way he takes his blades out of his chest, it also looks like it's like infinite. Like he can take an infinite amount of moon blades. I don't know if what's the word for his actual weapons, but you know, the moon shaped weapons that he takes out of his chest. It feels like every time he grabs it, it's like already there. So I feel like they're infinite, and I think that's really folding cool. But yeah, it's just gonna be a really cool experience to watch, and I'm like so excited for it. I think the final thing is, my final theory is, he's obviously some sort of supernatural thing. I think he's gonna have ties to maybe the Darkhold, sort of, but directly. There is gonna be a Midnight Suns team. If you don't know what that is, in the comics, there's a Midnight Suns team, and they are a group of supernatural fighters. You get people like Blade, you got people like Black Knight, and you get people like Moon Knight. And we have those three in the MCU already from Eternals. You have Blade, Mahershala Ali's character is Blade, and he talks to Black Knight. I don't know, I forget his first name. I don't know, I'll remember it. I might put it in the title. I probably will put it in the video somewhere. But I'm so excited for that. He's gonna be on the Midnight Suns team, and yeah, I'm folding excited for the show. And maybe there is some hint towards Midnight Suns, or just more stuff I want to talk about. And we're gonna jump to that really quick. So if you haven't watched episode 1, go watch it. I haven't seen it yet, but when we flash forward, I'm gonna have seen it. If you haven't seen episode 1, go fold and watch it, and then fold and watch the rest of this video. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoy my rant, and I feel like I'm gonna be really excited. So here you go. Alright, I'm going to be covering episode 1 right now. Episode 2 is going to come after, so I haven't seen the episode at this particular moment. So I'm going to be covering stuff so that episode 2 isn't like fresh in my mind and I'm getting like messed up between the episodes. But I'm going to be talking about episode 1, my thoughts, review, just a bunch of stuff. So first off, I want to talk about the villain intros. Like, when you introduce a villain as the start of the movie, that is fantastic. The Batman did it. I just thought of that one because that was like the first thing in my mind. I thought that was fantastic how they introduced Riddler. But with Arthur Harrow, it works so well. It's just so like peaceful music, and you're just like, oh, who's this guy? And then you see him break the glass, and you're like, wait a minute. And then he puts him in his shoe. He doesn't wince. He doesn't like scream or whatever. He just walks peacefully. And it's like, oh, false, this guy's gonna be insane. Maybe he's not just Arthur Harrow. Maybe he has Egyptian god possessing him. I know he like strictly like follows like Amit and Amit's ways. So I don't really know. It's really weird. But I love the way they introduced him, and I thought it was fantastic. So another thing I want to point out is that the little girl that Steven talks to about taking all the organs out of a mummy's body and only weighing their heart to see if they were worthy of being in the underworld and walking in the field of reeds. I'm guessing field of reeds is like their like heaven, I guess. I don't know. Like if they were worthy to be like good or whatever, or they deserve not to. I don't know their folding philosophy or the mythology of it. But yeah, so the weird thing is, just out of nowhere, she said, and did it suck for you that you got rejected from the field of reeds? I don't know if it was like sarcasm, but it didn't feel that way. It felt real. It felt like it meant something deeper. My thought is, in the end of this episode, we talk a lot about the avatar of the certain Egyptian gods. Obviously, Mark is the avatar of Khonshu, the moon god. But I feel like there's something about Steven. He knows a lot about Egyptian mythology and just everything. So I don't know I don't know. There's something about him. I feel like he was an avatar. Maybe he was Amit's avatar that got away from him, or got away from her. I'm guessing Amit's female. I don't fucking know. But then he's like, I'm not dead. And then he's like, am I? Because Steven doesn't full to know what's happening because he's having weird dreams and this and that, and he doesn't know what's going on. Also, I think it's really weird that throughout this week, it seems like Mark wants to go on adventures and Steven doesn't know about the adventures yet, and like, he's not aware of anything, so he's just living his life as the gift shop, museum, whatever, the museum gift shopist, whatever he calls himself. But it's weird that then Mark would set up the date if that weekend he was planning on, or that Friday he was planning on going on the adventure anyways. Maybe he didn't plan right away that he was supposed to go on the adventure, and then before that he plans the date with the girl. I don't know if she has a name, I forget if they established that, but it's weird that he would plan that. So my thought is that Mr. Knight did some moves, you know what I'm saying? I don't think he was in his Mr. Knight costume, but Mr. Knight as a character, my thought is the Mr. Knight is Jake Lockley. If you don't know who Jake Lockley is, he is another personality of Moon Knight. My thought is Mr. Knight is Jake Lockley. That's my thought. I think they will introduce Jake Lockley in this. There's a lot of imagery of 3 different personalities in the end credits. There's a lot of like 3 personality things. That could be Mark, Steven, and Kongshu, but I don't think so. I don't know. I feel like Jake Lockley is definitely a personality in his head. I love the mystery of trying to figure out like what happened in those couple minutes, seconds, maybe even days that we see. Obviously, he goes to sleep on Thursday, and then he's supposed to go on the date on Friday, but then it's already Sunday. So that means Mark was out for a couple days, and that's when he went to the village. I just love the folding costume, too. I think it looks fantastic. The glowing eyes, the folding blade in the middle, the mummy wrappings, I think looks great. The hood looks cool. Like, I like that it, like, keeps its shape, like, kind of pointed, like, Kongshu's, like, beak nose. I think that's really cool. And Kongshu himself looks folding great. He's got his folding moon staff, and the skeleton bird head looks great, and just like his whole attire looks awesome. Also, when we get that close up on him, it kind of looks like there's like dead like hair in the back, and he's just like, oh, it looks folding amazing. And I do think Moon Knight possessed Mark initially, and he grabbed some sort of Egyptian artifact, and he then became possessed by Kongshu, and it wasn't the Scarab. I feel like Scarab is totally different, but I feel like he did pick up artifact, and we're going to see this maybe in episode 2, maybe later, and then he turned into Moon Knight. But I actually don't fully know, so maybe I'm wrong. Also, I think Steven came along with Jake Lockley, if he's there. Mr. Knight, Moon Knight, Kongshu, Mark, and Steven all came together in this one body after, like, a while, because it seems like he's, like, been having to deal with it, but it's not perfect yet. Like, he doesn't have a perfect system because Steven found out. He obviously is somewhat new to this. I love that we showed, like, his folding sleeping disorder that is actually the multiple personality disorder in certain ways. I love that the first poster we got for this show, other than the like suits and Mark and just like everyone else, Mr. Knight, whatever, was Gus in a blender. I was so fucking confused why the goldfish was in a blender, but now it makes sense. And I think it's really funny that he brought it in a blender because he didn't like have cups or I guess, or like a baggie. I don't fucking know. And just the way like he like freaks out at certain people, like, or like it's like it was so sad when he was at the steak and he's like, oh, it's steak time, and then she's like, no, it's folding Sunday, and he was like, what? And I love the certain ways that it's folding mind-boggling for Steven to try to understand what the fold is happening. And finally, this is going to be my transition theory over to episode 2. I might be right, might be wrong. I will establish that in just a few seconds for you, a couple, like an hour or whatever, so for me. But yeah, so I'm going to be giving my last theory, which is that after Moon Knight kills the jackal that Arthur sends after him, Steven goes right back into the body and he gets captured by Arthur Harrow, because it seems like Arthur has become more and more interested with him. I think he wanted to kill him in the first place to see if he would, like, be able to survive it, and the fact that he did, because he saw that chaos, so he wanted to see what he could do, and the fact that he killed the jackal, I think that makes Arthur even more interested, so now he doesn't want to kill him, especially because we got that 1-minute trailer, and it was about Arthur just walking with Steven, showing him this neighborhood where everyone's at peace. It reminded me of Droig's mind-controlled village in Eternals, where it was very calm, and no one, like, had a problem with everything. He said everyone, like, keeps their doors unlocked, and it's, yeah. If you haven't seen that trailer, I would watch that before watching episode 2, so you know what I'm talking about, or just watch episode 2. I don't fucking know. It seems weird that Khonshu is so fucking, like, lenient with Steven, and is not, like, fucking turn into Moon Knight and go kill him, right? But I don't know. And now we're gonna head into episode 2, so if you haven't seen the episode, go watch it, come back here, and, yeah, listen to me ramble. So, let's get right to it. Alright, now we gotta talk about episode 2, because it was very fucking interesting. I don't know how I feel about this episode. There's parts I loved about this episode, but there was stuff I'm still deciding if I like or not. I don't, there's just certain things, I'll get to them in specific. So I did this video before, but it was a little bit longer than I would have liked it to be, so I'm going to try to talk about it a little bit full and quicker this time. Also, it took me some time to get my thoughts straight, and so here is what I didn't like about the episode. This is less of I don't like it, and it's more of I don't know how I feel about it. The fact that people, like, can't see the Egyptian gods, the Khonshu, and things like the jackal, I think them not being able to see the jackal just seems like a weird detail. Like, I get how it makes sense, but I don't love it. I think it's okay, but I don't know. Some of the fight scenes just felt a little off, because it's like, oh, I can't see them. I don't know. It just feels like a weird detail. But also, just Mark and Khonshu are jerks. Oh my gosh. Like, I want to root for someone, and that's why I like Steven the most out of everyone here, well, other than Layla. I really like Layla, but Steven is obviously my Falden favorite. He's the most pure Falden good out of Falden everyone, so it's, like, easy to root for him. Khonshu's cool and all. He's an Egyptian god, and Falden looks amazing, and he's Falden terrifying as faults. The storage scene was absolutely phenomenal. I thought that looked Falden great. It was like a reverse thing of that horror movie thing where you turn off the light and the person shows up when you turn them back on, that then they're not there. It was like the opposite in the storage locker, and the way he just, like, goofy, like, runs away from Khonshu and then runs into him, and he's just, like, looking up because he's folding so big. I think that's folding amazing, and I love that. But Khonshu's a jerk. He's not gonna let Mark go after this, and he's just, like, gonna fold and hold him because he is threatening of possessing Layla after this. So, and Mark's a Falden jerk to Steven, because Steven's just trying to Falden live his life, and he keeps trying to get the body back, but it's justified because he has to, because Khonshu is, like, Falden the only reason why he's alive in general. So, I'm iffy with that. That's why I feel so conflicted about episodes like this. This second episode, I think at first I liked it more than the first one, but I'm starting to like the first one more than this. It felt like it wanted to jump into Mark and the fighting and just all this and that, but it's just, like, it's slowly, gradually, like, doing it. Like, we're still revving up, which makes sense. So that's why it's, like, not my favorite, but I still have hope for the series, and I think it'll do a good job. We just got to get into it. I love Layla's relationship with Steven and Mark. At first, she's all frustrated at Steven, but he's just so fucking sweet to her. He doesn't know what happened between Mark and Layla, but I think the reason why Mark, like, separated himself from Layla was so that he didn't, like, die again, and Khonshu would have to possess Layla, and he just didn't want her to get hurt in the wake of him serving Khonshu. But I love the way she handles after she keeps saying, "You're Mark, you're Mark, you're Mark," but then finally when he's, like, having this actual panic attack, he said he was having a panic attack in the storage room, which was like, oh, that's interesting to watch, but you get to like hear everything. You hear Mark yelling at him, you hear Layla yelling at him, and he's just so like in his head about it, and he freaks out. But then he's like, but then she calls him Steven, so it like gives him reassurance, and it's really fucking sweet to watch that. I love the way this series is handling like mental illness, and Steven was confirmed to be autistic. I don't know if that actually makes much sense, but I guess it does, because it's a whole different personality, so I guess it could be autistic. But also just like everything in general is amazing, and I love the way they're just like handling it. Even though Mark and Kongshu are jerks, in the end, what I believe is going to happen is that Kongshu and Mark are both going to like realize that they are being jerks, and that Steven is also there. He literally, Kongshu calls him a parasite. He's just trying to fucking live his life. It's not his fault that he's another personality in a body where he's possessed by a moon god. That's not his fault. So you can't like be mad, and it's like you can't be like, oh, that's not a real person. Like, it kind of is. But I think Kongshu is so flawed, and he's a jerk, and he's just not good. Like, he's just, the thing is, you can't root for someone here because Kongshu's a jerk and he's bad. Arthur Harrow is so much worse. He calls children like dead like limbs, and I was like, what did you just call them? I don't know. I forget exactly what he says, but it's fucking awful. So, you know, yeah, fault due Arthur Harrow, but I see Steven being the purely good guy that knows what's right. He explains everything so well to Arthur, and just like everything going through his head is making sense, and it's really cool to watch that. And yeah, I'm excited to see more Steven, because he is the true star of this folding show. I love the Brit slang. It's so funny. Just the goofiness of Steven, and then people calling him donuts. That's funny as falls, dude. Oh my gosh. And I love how excited Steven got after he punched the jackal. He's like, Layla, look! Layla, I got him! And then he got hit. But, you know, it was really funny, and I love Steven. It's just, he's just so purely good, and just so, like, I love Steven. Also, Mark killing the jackal at the end there, like running off the top of the building and turning around and stabbing him, and then grabbing him and then putting him like onto a spike on the church, was fucking awesome to watch. Holy fuck. I get why people are a bit frustrated with Mr. Knight, and it wasn't, as my theory said, Jake Lockley or just like a really cool Fulda. It was just Steven's like imagination of a suit, and I think that's fine. I still think there's another personality. I still think there is. With the three like face imagery, it's like there has to be another personality. And when I say three face imagery, I'm talking about the three faces in the end credits. I don't think that would be Mark, Steven, and Mr. Knight. I don't think that makes much sense if Mr. Knight is just Steven. So I think there's another personality, unless it's counting that as Kongshu, which also doesn't make much sense because he just possesses them separately, and it's not like another face or another personality. So maybe that's what it means, but I think there's another personality still there. Jake Lockley, I still think, is likely to show up. And then finally, to end off this episode, we get Steven being scared that he gave up his control on the body, and then he just like, he feels like he's being like locked up, and it like is all like uncomfortable. I think that's really fucking scary to watch him like be so afraid. And then he like starts yelling at Mark at how he's a jerk, but he doesn't totally understand his situation, and neither do we, to be honest. And I think that's why I'm so frustrated at him. But then Mark just fucking rages. It just breaks the mirror. That was fucking scary to watch. But yeah, and the church bells going in the back. It's fucking. It's interesting to see their dynamic go back and forth. Finally, we end on the pyramids of Giza. We have Mark on the floor, drinking alcohol. I don't know what it was. But we have another broken mirror, and we have Steven in the mirror again, still afraid, still uncomfortable. But I just don't know where we're gonna go from here. They're definitely gonna go to Amit's tomb, and but I feel like it's gonna take us a minute to get there, but I feel like it's not gonna take 3 episodes, so I don't know what else is gonna be happening, and just I'm so excited to see what this series has to bring. Any theories I have for next episode? I don't know how I feel about this episode. I don't feel great. There's certain moments I loved. My favorite moment was Steven punching that jackal. Oh my gosh, I love that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed me rambling. If you did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Marvel content here in the future. Also, I'm going to be doing other stuff. A video that's going to get an anniversary update is coming soon. April 14th. Stay tuned. If you know, you know. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Have a fantastic day. And if you can't have a fantastic day today, have a fantastic day tomorrow. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya!